Hey guys, and welcome back to Culture Boys, a show where two guys just want to have a chat. I'm Nathan, and as always, I'm joined by Pepe, and this week we are following up with something I didn't expect to actually follow up on. It was just a throwaway suggestion, but we are talking about Cyberpunk Edgerunners.
Yes! This anime has been out for, what is it, like a couple years now? It feels like a couple years anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Coming up like that soon, but around 3-ish years.
It's coming up to 3 years. Well, it's nuts because I remember, obviously when you hear about Cyberpunk, you hear the whole story of how the whole thing went down in terms of the game.
Yeah.
But obviously Netflix dropped this anime and everyone was, I think the anime dropped when everyone was kind of still a bit iffy about Cyberpunk. It was I think the state of the game was kind of like, wait, do we like this yet or not? And then the anime was like, oh, but we like this anime.
I think the game was fixed at that point, playable fixed.
Yeah.
But everyone had already been burned.
Still had that reputation, didn't it? Yeah, it still had that reputation of being the laggy as fuck game.
Yeah.
And Cyberpunk Edgerunners, I remember I was like, oh yeah, I bet that's gonna be shit in it. And then everyone's like, people that did watch it, actually it's quite good. And I was like, oh, fair enough.
Yeah, it was quite surprising, to be fair.
And now it's coming up to almost 3 years now. And why not give it a watch?
Well, also because this is one of the rare occasions where I have seen the thing
Yes.
before Pepe has seen the thing.
Of course, yeah.
Normally, it's always the other way around because I don't watch anything. But
Nathan's slowly getting into anime again, and it's but with this one, yes, Nathan has seen this before me. You also played the game as well, haven't you?
yes, because of this.
Because of this, yeah.
Literally, I watched this and it was on sale literally the day after I finished watching.
No
And
way.
I was like, I'm buying it.
Interesting. Okay, cool. Before we get any further, then, do you want to explain what Cyberpunk Edgerunners is, then, Nathan?
Yes. Cyberpunk Edgerunners, created by Rafał Jaki, animated by Studio Trigger, which is why it looks so beautiful, aired September 13th, 2022 on Netflix. In a corrupt dystopia riddled with cybernetic implants, a talented but reckless street kid strives to become a mercenary outlaw known as an edge runner. Thank you, Netflix.
Thank you, Netflix. Right. Okay. Yeah. It's one of those ones I was like, Studio Trigger, we've talked about them before, and then I realized, yes, of course, Delicious in Dungeon is one of those things.
Yeah.
And then a bunch of other other ones I think we've mentioned in previous episodes anyway. But yeah, no, it is an absolutely stunning looking anime, and that's one thing with Cyberpunk. You have brilliant color palette on your side as well. So the animation style mixed with this bright neon vibe, it's okay, it's a match made in heaven, really, isn't it?
It's really funny considering this will happen a lot. The comparison between the series and the game, but the game is actually if you're in Night City, there will be those huge neon parts.
Yeah.
So you do get a lot of color, but it's still kind of, a dystopia. So the game is actually quite dark in palette.
Okay, yeah.
There's a lot of darker colors, even though Night City is kind of a weird facsimile for a cyberpunk LA, I think. The series Cyberpunk Edgerunners is so colorful,
yeah,
and so saturated. It's so beautiful, to be fair. It's really cool.
This is this is coming from me who's actually never really attempted to get into the game at all. And I was like, okay, cool, I'll check out Edgerunners. I heard really good things, but you've been raving about it. Other people have been raving about it. It was like, okay, cool. Well, let's try it as well. And it's so bear in mind, a lot of the stuff would be like, oh yeah, I wonder how this is compared to the game. And then they've all come through and fact check me for sure, absolutely, because I have no frame of reference. This is so anything that is Cyberpunk, all I know is from Edgerunners, and that is always going to be. Obviously, going straight into it as well, you've already stated that the anime is very, very different vibe to the games in that sense as well, right?
Yeah, in terms of color palette.
Yeah, in terms of color palette, but
I will say it is the type of game you can actually do quite a lot.
Yeah.
Because of the cybernetic enhancements. So it's not fully out of the realm of possibility to do some of the stuff that you see in Edgerunners. Just going to say that off the top.
Yeah.
Some of it's not possible, but weirdly, a fair amount is.
Okay. That's interesting. So, like, a lot of because obviously anime is inspired by the game, and
Yeah.
I imagine there's like, how close together are they? Obviously, I wasn't expecting Keanu Reeves to show up in the anime. Let's put it that way. Like, is there like anything that's like, is it like, oh, here's that reference? Oh, that's that. Are there references in it as well? If you play the game, you'd go back and watch Edgerunners and be like, oh crap, there's this thing. Like,
Edgerunners doesn't have that much reference to the game except for like the whole setting.
Universe, yeah.
So you might recognize some things, but that's because it's set in the same world. Edgerunners actually takes place before your character in the game.
Okay, yeah.
So like Edgerunners is before the game. But I will say because of the success of Edgerunners, retroactively they added references into the game.
Oh, really? Okay.
So you can get David's jacket.
Yeah, that's cool.
You can get Rebecca's shotguns, or shotgun, you get one.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty powerful. It's actually stupid.
Yeah.
I will say, when I played the game, I had the jacket, I had the shotgun, and the shotgun powers up every time you level.
Okay, yeah.
So like you can upgrade it to be more powerful, but it also generally gets stronger the more levels you go up.
Okay, yeah, so
Scales with you, and it's a shotgun, so it's just like ridiculous.
right. Is it one of those ones where like if you didn't use it but you leveled up, it doesn't level up with you? It's still the same level, but if you level up with it, then it works. Is that kind of thing, or is it?
No. It's literally based on your character level.
Oh, it's based on your character level, so it's not even like you're leveling up a certain point, it will go with you. But okay, cool.
Yeah, it's not that it has its own level. It's literally based on your character level.
Right. Okay. Oh, okay. Interesting.
So its stats will increase marginally based on your character level. Yeah. There's also in the game, if you go to the graveyard, there's actually a bunch of graves, like memorial stones for a bunch of the characters.
No way.
And some of them are written by Lucy.
Okay. Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. So.
Because you read them and you're sort of like, it's written in a way as if somebody's like talking about them, like a memory sort of them, like reminiscing of them. So it's like a specific person. Spoilers, obviously, for people who haven't watched all the way through. I probably should ask, did you watch all of it or?
I've watched all of it, yeah.
Okay, so I'm not spoiling anything for you then. That's the most important part.
Yeah, no, that's, yeah.
Yeah, Lucy being one of, if not the only person who survives, these like memorials are like basically kind of written by her.
Okay, yeah. That's quite cool. I mean, as well, the anime must be written by a different person rather than the games, right? That's got to be a thing. Yeah, so
yeah, it was written by a different person. I forgot to note that down.
That'd be a thing. So like, it's also like, I imagine there must have been a collaboration though. If you're writing as a character of Lucy, you'd hope that they got the original, like it just as a frame of reference at least. You know what I mean?
I think the person who wrote the screenplay and stuff for Edgerunners probably did work closely with Project CD Red. I know through my research, Studio Trigger obviously also worked very closely with every like important figure with the Cyberpunk franchise so that it all had the consistent kind of feel.
Of course, yeah.
I think there's only one more reference I forgot.
Oh yeah.
There's one of the you know, the holograms that David likes to watch, VBDs.
Yes, yeah.
You can actually find one, and it's the exact. It's kind of like, if I remember correctly, because I found it. I think it's like a trailer for Edgerunners.
Oh, really? That's quite cool.
Which is funny because it's like an advertisement for it inside of the game.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And obviously it fits really well because Cyberpunk as a whole, you know, Edgerunners and the game is basically a dystopian world where basically everything is capitalism. Everything can be bought and sold.
Yeah.
And money is power. Everything can go through corporation and capitalism. So like it's kind of funny that it has one that you can just kind of find as also like an advertisement for Edgerunners.
Yeah. That's interesting. Okay, yeah. I quite like that, to be fair. It feels very integrated. Like obviously, yeah, like you said, retroactively you could do like you said, like they've done the costume with the jacket and the shotguns and stuff like that. But like, I mean, even going back and doing that is quite a cool thing to do. Like, especially they've obviously seen the response to the series, and it's cool stuff. I do like the idea of the trailer as well. I mean, I actually don't think you could really do much more than that either, because you don't want to be like too focused. The only other way I think you could probably do any more integration is probably like side quests or something like that, like DLC content with it. But I think by the sounds of it, of what you described, I think it's like a fight. Like that's like you got your references there.
Yeah.
But you're actually adding that kind of stuff. But yeah.
If you know, you know, kind of
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Like, I think the only other way you could do it is like, I don't know, if you were sort of like going through and like NPCs were talking and be like, oh, do you remember that David Martinez guy?
Yeah, yeah.
Or like, you know, like if they randomly talk about Adam Smasher for some reason in the
Yeah.
game, you know, and then it's like, oh, Adam Smasher, do you remember that, like that gang of Edgerunners or whatever? Do you know what I mean? Because like the world of Cyberpunk, yeah, you can like corporations like Arasaka could like pay to keep that locked down or whatever, but like somebody somewhere is going to have that information from hacking, being a net runner themselves or something. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
so like, I feel like that's the only other kind of references you could probably make. I think there might be like a graffiti or something somewhere in the game as well.
Yeah.
It would be little things like that, because I don't know what else you could add.
I kind of like that subtlety though. That sounds like quite cool. Like all that. Like I mean, it's like you said, it's like subtle enough to be like, oh, if you know, you know, but also kind of in your face with, oh, it's David's jacket or whatever. It's like, I like that though. Yeah.
Well, I mean, like you do also have to know where to get these.
Oh, really? Okay. Like I was wondering, like, wait, is it DLC or is it just added in like a fire update?
No, it's like all the references are like free.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Yeah.
They're not DLC. You don't have to download or buy anything. You
See, that's the one. That's a nice side. That's a nice vibe. Okay. Yeah.
It is one of those where it's still an Easter egg, so it's not going to be like, you might find it, you might just happen to roll past and pick up a thing and be like, oh, actually, whoa, that's the thing.
Yeah.
That's David's jacket, or that's Rebecca's shotgun. No way.
Yeah, you gotta search it. Okay, yeah.
It is one of those where it's like, you know, if you don't, you might never find it. You know, it's a pretty big map. It's a big game. You
Yeah.
may never know unless you look it up or someone tells you.
Okay, interesting. That's cool. But like, yeah, going into the series, did you rewatch it or are you just kind of going off of memory for this?
No, of course I rewatched it.
You rewatched it, yeah.
I wanted to rewatch it because I was like, oh man, that was a great series.
Yeah.
But I was hesitant because I'm like, after the first time, is it going to be as magical? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I really liked Edgerunners, clearly, because I went and then bought the game and played through the entire game.
Of course, yeah.
But it's because it meant a lot and I really vibed with it that I'm like, is a second watch through, am I going to be as into it? Or am I just going to be like, it's all right? And like, oh, that's a shame.
Yeah.
But I still thoroughly enjoyed it.
Nice.
It meant a little more to me because obviously now I know the characters and things. Also, just, you know, once you've seen the series and you hear that song, anytime that song comes up, and I will warn anybody who does what I did, watch the series and play the game, that song is in the game too. So be warned, it might randomly pop up on the radio and you might start getting hit in the feels.
Oh, right. Wait, which song is this?
So you know the song that plays when David and Lucy are on the moon?
Ah, okay, yeah.
I Really Want to Stay at Your House by Rosa Walton.
Okay, yeah.
That song is like, for most people that like really, who watched the series and ended up like really feeling for these characters, anytime you hear that song, just even that little snippets, it's like, oh shit, man, I remember that whole crew, man. Like, oh shit.
It's like, this is the one thing about Edgerunners as well, is like going into it as like going in completely blind, basically. It's one of those ones where like, I'm going to compare it to like a lot of classic anime is what I'm going to compare it to. Like it's 10 episodes of it, right? And I found myself like kind of watching it and be like, where, like at some parts I was like, where is this going? How does this work out in the wider scheme of things? And like you kind of grow with David and like see how he transforms as a character, and then like just seeing how the whole story plays out with him, like with like all was it like Maine as well, like how that happens, like all that kind of stuff, and like his relationship with Lucy, and then all the stuff that goes down afterwards with what's the evil guy called again? I can't remember. It was it's guy with three eyes. it begins with an F. I know it does. I can literally picture him in my mind. I can't remember his name.
I want to say like Fontaine or something.
Yeah, it's something very similar, I believe. Well, yeah.
I think it actually is Fontaine.
Oh, Fontaine. Yeah, Fontaine. Yes, no, you're right. It is Fontaine. Yeah, yeah.
He's voiced by Gus Fring.
I fucking knew it was. I was like, this sounds like. There's like, I think it was like I didn't pick up at first when he first appeared, like in episode 2, I think.
Yeah.
Obviously, when he's in it a lot more, I was listening and I was like, there's a tone here which I found. I didn't even need to look
Familiar,
that up.
yeah.
Yeah, and like obviously you've just said it there, and I was like, of course it was. And I knew it sounded like him. I knew it sounded like. And I was like,
Yeah.
okay, yeah. He does villains so well though. That's the thing with it. So yeah,
He does. That's why he's like played a lot of them
yeah.
since Breaking Bad. But like, yeah.
No, of course. Yeah, like the whole series, the story wise, is I think like one of its strongest one of its strongest points. Like again, like kind of like half watching, thinking I'm not too sure about this. More first half than second half, I think, because obviously you see David grow as a character, you see him with the other Edgerunners, and you're like, okay, like he's learning stuff and he's picking up like bits of the trade and stuff like that. But then just seeing how he ends up in like going from episode 1, so then like there's that little like time skippy kind of bit after Main dies.
Yeah.
And then you kind of see him like literally like all jacked up, like he's got all the enhancements, everything's got all. You're like, oh, okay, so he's grown as a character here. But then obviously he goes the way like the Main does in a little bit and like starts like going like
Cyber psychosis.
cyber psychos, which is like
You can't get too many enhancements. Can't get chromed up, choom.
I'll talk about the tune thing in a minute because it's like I need to talk about that. But it's quite interesting to see David's character growth. I think that's like out of anything in that series, David's character growth is what I actually enjoyed the most about it. I think like this story was great, yeah, really good. Yeah,
Is the strongest point, and it has to be because, like you said, we are following him as he grows into becoming an edge runner.
yeah,
I mean, it's pretty tragic. He goes from a normal kid who's like living in a poorer family. They're not doing great, but his mom wants him to have a good life. And Night City is a cesspool. I can honestly.
Yeah.
The thing is, like in the series, the anime, this series really paints it very well. That Night City is actually an awful place. It's terrible. Again, like I said before, capitalism is key in that world. Like you see it time and time again where it's like, oh yeah, you know, we could have helped your mum some more, but like not on the package you're on.
yeah. No,
'cause
it's
he's too broke.
Yeah, it's like
Oh, we got a funeral service package that you can pay for. This is the cheapest one. But like literally even when you play the game, you feel that constantly. There's like capitalism everywhere. There's advertisements absolutely fucking everywhere.
yeah,
When I say things, almost anything can be bought and sold in Night City, I kid you not. It's very true.
yeah.
It paints it so well, and that's why like you really do feel for David, because it's just even when him and his mom get caught up in just that random drive-by, that shit happens in the game sometimes.
Oh, is he just like how did you joke?
Literally, yeah. When I played the game, like sometimes you just be driving down the road or running around. All of a sudden, a couple of gangs just start
really?
firing up, like they're just fighting each other, and you're like, "The fuck is going on? I didn't do anything."
Oh, right, okay, yeah, that's interesting. Okay,
And if it ain't the gangs, then it's the gangs, a gang, and some police or something.
yeah.
But like that shit in Night City happens all the time. Just innocent people will get caught in the crossfire. So yeah, it did a really good job of painting this secret fucking character, I would
Yeah.
say. The city itself is a character, and it's a fucking awful one.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's the great thing about this whole series. It's like this kid that's born into like this fucking awful city and is taken in by a gang himself, like of the Edgerunners, and obviously they take him in as one of their own, and then they like help him, all that kind of stuff. Like actually feels like part of the crew. It's like it's again like everything about it, like everything about that crew adds to the story, you know what I mean? Like there's no character in there which you're like, oh, that kind of felt kind of pointless. They all serve a purpose. Like no character in the show really like.
Well, sometimes I feel like the only person who I'm like, and I had to look up who it was again for this, but Pilar, the like long arm guy with the mohawk.
Yes, yeah.
He's one of the only characters sometimes I'm like, what do you even do?
Yeah, it was. I think it was like to kind of set up, like, obviously the first death of the crew as well. You know what I mean? Well, from what we've seen anyway.
Yeah.
And obviously, it kind of serves a purpose for David and Lucy to get a bit closer as well, I feel. There's a lot of stuff, and obviously, like, David's reaction when Pilar gets killed. Like, obviously, just like you said, like, the name, I'd be like, who the fuck is Pilar? Like, all of those names that I can see, like, on this list that Nathan's written down right now. It's like, oh, okay, I remember this. I'm like, who the fuck was that guy? Yeah, it's like, you're right, it's like that one.
That's the funniest part is because the first time I watched it through, I didn't remember him at all. But I remember Falco, the driver, at the end, right?
Yes.
But that's the funniest thing is that I'm like, Falco actually only ever really appears at the end.
No, because he's randomly in the episode where, like, Maine starts losing it.
Yeah, I mean, like, he's in it, but, like, you know what I mean? Like,
and I was like, but you're like, I saw him, I was like, who the fuck is that? Like, who's this character that's just shown up randomly? And then, like, then he actually is more into it in the last 2 episodes, isn't he? Like, that's when he actually comes into it more, yeah.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying is, like, it's weird that, like, he technically is in it, and he was in it.
Yeah.
But you don't really see or hear him really do much until the end.
Nah, you don't know.
But, like, I still remembered Falco more than I remembered Pilar.
Yeah.
I was like, dang.
I mean, Falco as well, like, Matt Mercer. It's one of those things, like,
Yeah,
you kind of see that, okay, fair enough. Like, it's...
I mean, I didn't know that when I first heard the
I
voice,
also
but,
didn't
like,
hear that either, to be honest. I just, like, seen the notes, I was like, oh, okay, he's in this. Okay, cool. Like,
I mean, that's kind of one of those names that sometimes you're like, yeah, I'm not surprised. It's an anime and having fucking, you know, Sabat
yeah,
voice
absolutely.
someone.
I was gonna say, if you can count anyone to be in an anime, like a modern one, and it's like it's either gonna be Matt Mercer or it's gonna be Sabat.
Yeah, like they're in everything.
Yeah, but yeah, really enjoyed a lot of the series. I think I'm not gonna say it had. I think there's certain bits of it which I felt were a bit like okay, like, or I wasn't vibing with as much. But all of it serves a purpose, and I'm not gonna shit on that at all. I think it is story wise brilliant, character growth wise brilliant. I mean, even like the animation's beautiful as well. Like, I can find negatives, but I don't think it's anything to hold against the series itself. I think overall, when you get into it,
Yeah,
it's one of those ones which I personally, if I were to recommend it to someone, I'd be like, look, just keep with it a little bit. And there are some good moments in this, but like, just stay with it. And it does get, I think, once you get the series as a whole, that's when you can really appreciate it. That's in my opinion anyway. Watching it bit by bit is like, okay, that's cool. Once the series is finished, it's like, okay, that's nice. That's a well-rounded anime.
honestly, I agree with you though. It does start a bit slow.
Yeah.
And you do try to find reasons why you should care. Because, I mean, otherwise you just like, okay, well, he's just a kid who doesn't want to be at school and he's acting up a bit. And you're like, okay, well, that's just a kid, right? That's just a teenager being a teenager. But, you know, then once it starts kicking off, you're like, oh, okay, I get it now.
I think the bit that got me was a weird like montage of like David getting to know the Edgerunners a bit more.
Okay.
There was like, I think it must have been in episode 2 or 3. It's the episode where Pilar dies.
Yeah.
Or I remember that particular one, I think I had to rewatch it because I was about to start episode 4, and I think it's episode 4, correct me if I'm wrong. And I was like, I actually don't remember much from episode 3 at all. So I had to go back and rewatch that. I think because I either wasn't paying attention or something. And I was like, what actually happened in that episode? And I had to go back for it. Kind of glad I did, because like, I think if I skipped over a lot of that kind of bits or like didn't acknowledge everything that was in those episodes, I probably wouldn't have enjoyed the series as a whole either. That's the one thing with it. And again, I'm going at the risk of repeating myself here. I feel like you do appreciate every episode for what it does in the grander scheme of things. Like as a whole, that's the bit that you really do appreciate it.
Yeah.
And again, the tomb thing. Right, I've got to address this thing.
Okay, yeah.
Because is that in the game as well?
Yeah.
Right.
So this whole world, that's the slang.
Right. Okay, yeah.
People call each other choom.
Yeah.
You get chromed up.
Yeah. Chromed up is fine. I have no problem with chromed up. The tomb thing.
Okay, I'm with you though. I was really confused as well when I first watched Edgerunners.
Yeah.
And I was like asking people, I was like, what is choom? And they're like, that's just what you call people, you know? You call them a choom, you call them a choomba.
Yeah.
This is what it is, isn't it?
Everything about it was just like, why? It feels unnecessary. In the games, I understand. Yeah, it's one of those ones where it's like, yeah, in the universe, that's what they do.
Yeah.
But why? Why are you calling it? And it annoyed me so much.
I don't know. I honestly can't explain that part to you.
Yeah.
All I can explain is that at some point it's basically replaced like calling someone dude.
Yeah, it is. And at some points, I wasn't sure if it was an insult or not because they were just.
Sometimes it is.
Yeah.
See, my first thought though when I first watched it was I was like, is this like a racist thing? Like, what is the truth? Because it kind of feels like a derogatory term, right?
It feels like a slur. Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah. If someone turned around and went, oh yeah, it's because he's not got any enhancements, so now they're like against him, you know, like
if you heard someone one day in public say that choom over there, you'd be like, what the fuck did you just call them? It sounds bad.
yeah, exactly right. It literally sounds like you're like judging someone.
Yeah.
It does.
Like nothing about the word is great. I again. This is in the story's great. Everything's great in the wider scheme of things. The tune thing just annoyed me to fuck though. Like, man, just say punk, just say bro, just say dude, whatever you need to. The tune thing is like, cut it, man. Like, I don't need that shit.
This choom over here, man. This choomba, what?
No, see, even it just doesn't sound good. It's like this doesn't sound like a positive term at all. Like this tune, like nah. I'm glad that I have finished that series because I'll never have to hear the word tune again unless I go back and rewatch it.
Or if you end up for some reason playing the game.
I mean, I would at this point I would be interested in playing the game. It's a tough one for me because I find these kinds of games quite hard to get into. I'm not much of a solo player on these kind of things. I think, don't get me wrong, it looks good, and then, like learning more about Cyberpunk via Edgerunners.
Oh my god.
What was it?
I was just thinking like, oh my god, Cyberpunk 2077, like almost GTA Online kind of thing would be utter chaos.
Oh yeah.
I'm getting a headache just thinking about it.
I mean, like that's one thing. I've seen gameplay of it, and I've saw the really early gameplay of it when it was like the lags and stuff, and people were like shitting on it. But then obviously now it's at a stage where it's like, hey, this is quite a good game, and now I'm like, oh, okay, fair.
Yeah, I mean, I watched this and played the game like last year.
Yeah.
And the game was solid last year.
Yeah, absolutely. It's one of those ones like it took its time to do so.
Yeah.
Or at least I think it did anyway. I don't know when it switched over, but at one point I remember just hearing from one of the guys at work, it was just like, hey, this game's good now. I'm like, oh, fair.
I think the game had been fixed like a little bit before, like not too long before Edgerunners actually came out. I think probably within the same year. So I want to say maybe within a year to maybe 6 months.
Yeah.
And then Edgerunners came out and everybody watched and that was it. Like, and like, I mean, you watched it, so now you kind of get it yourself. Like,
yeah,
this anime, especially when you know there's another thing you could do that's more like interactive, you know, like
100%. Yes.
You kind of like, I do kind of want to experience more of this world for myself.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, 100%. I think it's. I mean, the anime's done a great job for the game, honestly, and probably vice versa as well. Like, like everything about it is done really well.
It's a super cool world.
Yeah.
I will say that. Like, it's an amazing world, and I was interested in the game before. It's just when it came out, everybody was like, "Oh yeah, it's actually a buggy ass mess. There's no point."
Yeah.
So I actually completely gave up on it, and I was never gonna play it.
Yeah, yeah.
I was like adamant, and you know, people say never, right? And I was like, no, I will never play it. And lo and behold,
it was,
here you go, watch this. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm playing Cyberpunk now. It's fun. It was really good.
Yeah.
I'm just waiting until I feel like I want to jump in again and play again.
It does feel like it's going to be one of those games where you just jump in, go back and forth. Like, oh, I'll just jump on there for a bit, do some random shit, and then see, like...
Well, like, I want to play as a different starting origin.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But I feel like my loadout would be very much the same.
Yeah.
Because I'm still going to be like, oh yeah, Edgerunners. So I'm still going to go get David's jacket. I'm still gonna go get Rebecca's shotgun. Like,
Yeah,
I
you
would
know what you're
still
gonna
end
do.
up doing a lot of the same shit.
Mm-hmm.
It's just maybe some things might play out a little different than they did before, but that's it. I still want to be like, oh yeah, man, like I'm an edge runner. I'm like David.
That's funny. I mean, yeah.
Choom's like David, innit?
Oh, Jesus Christ. No, I'm not fucking dealing with that shit. No, just like there's something about it. Like maybe it's like the lack of sleep that I had last night, but geez, I'm just like the word tube is just aggravating. It's grating me like a whole other level. It's like
It's okay. You learn to ignore it.
yeah, I mean, at that point, I think it's. I tell you what it is though, because they do say a lot in the series, and you're right. You do just learn to kind of hear it in the anime anyway. This is again, I haven't played the games. Like you hear it, and you like. The thing is, you'll get used to it. It's like you said, you get used to it. You just hear it all the time, and then. But there's just some points where it just catches you, and you're like, why? Oh, this is.
Do you know what it is? That's when your brain kicks back in, and you're like, it's that word again. There's that weird sound that brain don't like again.
Yeah, it's like it's just recurring. It's just there again. It's like, oh fuck's sake. Oh man,
it's okay.
Yeah. It's again, yeah. Like unless I play the games, that's the only time I'm gonna hear it. But yeah, I mean, what else can I say? I mean, we won't go through this episode without me saying it as well. The freaking opening for Cyberpunk Edgerunners being Franz Ferdinand's "This Fire."
I was waiting for you to bring it up because I completely forgot that was the opening.
Yeah,
and as soon as I heard it the first time and I saw it, I was like, he's gonna fucking love that. He's gonna fucking love that.
Oh man, yeah. Like one of my favorite bands of all time featured on this, and like it's one of those ones where like funny enough, I was like just going scrolling through Instagram, and then there was like this just meme of like 20 different pictures and like a different templates of different openings and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so weird seeing like stuff like Flow like go like being listed like a Bleach opening, like Asian Kung Fu Generation. Loads of these openings being like thrown about saying, oh, this is a bop.
Yeah.
And then you just see Franz Ferdinand This Fire, and I'm like, that's wild that this is like one of those on there. Like, I mean, at the same time, I was like, what's the funniest thing about the song being the opening is that like they barely use any of the main bulk of the chorus or verse of This Fire. There's a lot of the build up, and a lot of the guitar, and it's like, yeah, it's cool. But then they never really get inside the bulk of the lyrics or like even the chorus. They don't even get into the chorus at all of the song, which is quite wild. But mate, honestly, any Franz Ferdinand representation in anime, it's like
I mean, I suppose they felt like what they used was all you needed for a cool opening that also is somewhat appropriate to the show.
Yeah,
I don't know, I feel like the parts they did use, you know, like the build up of guitar, and then just like that one part, you know, the fire is out of control, it's burning. It's Night City, like it's a bunch of noise and then it's on fire and it's burning, and then off you go.
What is really good with the opening as well is that it doesn't feel like, you know, when you see like an opening, there's a lot of like the cut scenes and there's a lot of this, like a lot of action going around. And don't get me wrong, I love an opening like that. But with Cyberpunk's opening, with Edgerunners, it was very, very scaled back as an opening as well. It's like you don't need a lot of like fancy like fights or anything like that. It's literally just like this silhouette walking bit by bit, and then like you get these close-ups, these little switch up here and there. Like you can see the scenes going on in the background, and you're seeing like the cuts in the body and stuff like that, and like this you see this like face, and it's like, okay, that's all you need to show with it. Like you got this like this guitar going, this cool like scaled back silhouette, and it works. Honestly, it does work as an opening, so yeah.
Again, I feel like everything was like very well crafted to just really represent kind of what Cyberpunk is as a series, you know, or as a world. Because I feel like the intro animations is kind of like almost like a weird sort of like psychedelic trip in a way, right? And you know, when you think everything you know of this world, again, it's a bit of a psychedelic trip. I couldn't really describe it any more perfect way, really. It's all just a weird fever dream with fucking the internet and cybertronics and whatever, cybernetics and all that.
It's all sorts. I mean, that's one thing. Like, this is why I like to refer to it like with a classic anime feel, is that it gives off like kind of outlaw star kind of vibes. You're like Cowboy Bebop's, like this futuristic. You know, there's a stage of anime where it was just like randomly in the 80s or 90s they were putting out these really cool futuristic animes.
Yeah.
And this is what it feels like to me. This is what it feels like a Ghost in the Shell kind of thing. You're in this futuristic like world, and it's like, okay.
I don't know what that's actually called. I suppose you could say in some senses it's kind of cyberpunky, but I feel like cyberpunk has evolved more now to be like
Yeah.
that sort of like very enhanced like neon lights kind of aesthetic.
Right now, it feels very like, if you were to describe this to like your average Joe on the street, you'd be like, it's a sci-fi anime, is what you'd say.
Yeah.
It's a sci-fi is the best way to put it, because it gives off like kind of vibes of like, if you go compare it to anything similar in terms of style, like maybe like a Total Recall or something like that. Like,
Well, I just meant like around that time, you know, like the Ghost in the Shell comparisons. They're like, you know, that kind of like spacey, futury, like sort of animes. I'm like, I don't quite know what the word is for that, you know, like besides sci-fi, but I feel like sci-fi is such an all-encompassing catch-all term.
it's the easiest way to summarize it, I'd say. But like, you don't really get as many of these kind of style animes come through these days. A lot, obviously, you get oversaturated like fantasy genre animes right now. A lot of the like eye level to 100, the isekais. You get all this kind of stuff because it is what's popular right now, and it's the way the anime thing that it is right now. And we'll look back at this point in the history of animes, and it'll be like, oh yeah, it would be like 2020 or like late mid 2015 to whatever year it ends up probably petering out or whatever. If it does, it will be that era of isekai.
Man, them people's really wanted to escape life, huh?
It's just that era, innit?
Could you imagine looking back at that period of time, like way off in the future, and just the one thing you come out with is, man, everybody really must have hated what was going on because they really wanted to escape from whatever was going on.
Everyone was writing fucking stories about, hey, this time I got transformed, or this time I did this, this time I did this.
I got teleported somewhere else.
It's weird, like it's this fad that is kind of like, that isn't even a fad anymore. When you first heard of it, you think, oh, it's a fad. It's like, oh, here's this funny title. What's going on here? That sounds so stupid. And now, like, it's like a dime a dozen. Like, there's so many of these. I don't even know if that's the right saying.
Okay, so just based off of this,
yeah,
if you could have decided to be isekai'd into Night City, the cyberpunk universe, would you do it?
No, just send me. Send me
Good.
to the void.
Yeah,
Death parade me. Send me to the arbiters. Send me to the void. I ain't fucking getting reincarnated in that shit. Nah, send me away.
I was gonna say, because that is not a fun world.
Nah, like none of that seemed like a good thing.
Not to actually live in.
No, like, I mean, don't you? The aesthetics like were pretty cool. Like, oh yeah, like all that kind of stuff. But everything about it seems stressful. None of that seemed like a relaxing time. It's all like, especially the way you're seeing David's life anyway. It's like, it's a constant struggle. He literally, like, as soon as one thing goes wrong, it's like he's locked outside his house because the rent's due. And then it's like, oh yeah, you got to deal with like the funeral costs. Oh, you got to do with like all this. It's all just thrown onto him.
You can't even use your washing machine because you didn't pay the washing machine.
Yeah.
Not even like the electric or water bill. The actual washing machine. You did not pay. The one inside your fucking apartment.
Yeah. And it's absurd. It's like, it's scary and that kind of thing. You found yourself in that position. I think a lot of us would be like, fuck this, I can't deal with it.
It's not just that. It's, at least for me, it's the, you know how anyone can contact you at any time? Like the bully, his principal, anyone can just contact you and it's in your head.
Oh, yeah.
It's not something you can just get rid of. You know, like if your phone buzzes, you don't want to know. You can turn it off. It's like fully silent, not even vibrate. Just put it somewhere else, right? You can escape from that for a little bit. But in Cyberpunk, that's all in your brain, brother.
That is there, and it is just like, okay. It might, like, also, I feel like I have a lot of intrusive thoughts as well. Like, obviously, shit just be like, oh, just fucking do that. And imagine if you're just on a call and like with someone like in your fucking headspace thing, and then like you just think like, I could just drive my car off the road right now or something like that. And then like, what the fuck did you just say? Like, oh, nothing. It's just the intrusive thought.
Oh, no. No, I wasn't expecting that to be sent. My bad.
Yeah, it's like, oh shit, like, it's what do you even do? Like, you can't even track that shit. None of that seems great. Even a communication system which feels like, oh, wouldn't it be cool if you did this? You know, at some point in the future they'll be like, oh, you can do this. And I think they even tried it for Google Glass or whatever the fuck it was back in
Yeah.
2012 or whatever. None of this feels like a chill situation. It doesn't seem convenient at all. I'd rather just not have people in my head talking to me.
Elon's done one successful neural link.
Oh god, he has, isn't he? I forgot about this. Yeah.
And Gabe Newell, the CEO of Valve, also wants to start doing like some neural shit.
Nah, it's like, stop.
Chipping the brain kind of crap.
Like,
So.
science gone too far, bro. Just chill. We don't need.
But Cyberpunk.
No.
Pepper, you could have a Sylvester stun, you know, and then you can start going all cyber psychosis and
No, just get me out of here. Just like, I'm going to fucking live in a cabin in the woods somewhere. Like, technology's gone too far. No.
you could be Adam Smasher.
I don't want to be Adam Smasher. I don't want to be anyone in that universe. None of these people in that universe are like having a good time. Like, closest one is probably like maybe Falco. He just gets to drive around.
Yeah, he's a pretty normal dude. Yeah.
Yeah, he's the most normal out of everyone in this series. He's like, he just turns up and drives around and like he dips out, one of the only people to survive in the end of it. That's it. Like,
Yeah, him and Lucy are like some of the only survivors.
This one thing as well with the ending is that the Adam Smasher thing,
Mm-hmm.
David just gets killed, right? He just gets ended.
Yep.
And obviously there's a lot of build up there. It's still quite a good ending for it. But like, is Adam Smasher just there now? He's just there? There's no resolution to that at all.
No, there isn't. So Adam Smasher basically is like the most weirdly legendary and infamous like name because he is the most enhanced, cybernetically enhanced person. But I think his history is like he was an ex-soldier or something.
Yeah.
So any like new military tech, pretty much if it's supposed to be some sort of like cybernetic enhancement, will end up going to Adam Smasher. So he's like the most infamously well-known person throughout just the entire world.
Yeah.
Even in the game, you hear about him like a fair amount.
Oh, he is in the game as well. Okay, fair enough. Yeah.
You know, he's the big scary like boogeymans.
I think, yeah, I feel like they even mentioned it at points. It's one of those ones where it's like, okay, yeah, just gets take like, and David just gets taken out by him, and it's fine. It's like one of those ones that I didn't really expect much of a resolution to that character, especially since he got brought in the last 2 episodes at least, or something like that. There was like the talks of Adam Smasher at the end of the penultimate episode, and then in your last one, I think you see him, and it's like, oh shit, like, also I don't remember the exact timeline of it, but yeah, like I didn't expect too much from that. I think it would have been rushed if we did get a whole explanation about it. Getting a more in-depth one anyway. But yeah, all in all, I'm happy with the series. I'm very glad I watched it.
Oh man, I'm happy to hear that because like this really is a good one, and I'd have to question you.
Nah,
I would have to question your tastes if you came back and was like, you know what, they didn't like it.
don't get me wrong. I don't think I'm gonna be putting it in like my top 10 or anything like that. But like it's a solid anime. I think that's one thing that what you get from it is the journey, and as a story, it's great. Honestly, like I wouldn't shit on it at all. I think I've watched some bad animes before and some stuff, and you don't get that from this, so it's good. I'd highly recommend it to anyone if you have played the games and looking for something, or you aren't actually a Cyberpunk fan at all. I think I'd actually like recommend it 100%.
Oh, this is definitely like a gateway drug for like getting into the Cyberpunk series.
Yeah, I mean, like, that's one thing. I would try and get the game. I know, like, it's probably on sale quite a bit now, especially since it came out so long ago. And at some point, I may try it, but it's not I feel like I'd try that game and then I'd be like, oh, that's cool for like about 5 hours and then put it down because you know what I'm like.
I mean, there is technically a really easy solution to this.
Oh, yeah.
All we'd have to technically do is start up one of those Steam family shares.
Oh, yeah.
And then you would have access to my library.
Yeah.
And it runs on Steam Deck. I don't know for how long or how well.
Yeah.
But apparently you can play it on Steam Deck. That's what I saw before on mine.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying there's technically an easy solution for that.
To be fair, I'd even just like to try the game. Like, even if I don't buy it or whatever, I'd just like to try it and see what it's like. Like, I've seen the gameplay of it and stuff like that, but it's a very different situation. You know what I mean? When you play a game and you're actually like watching it, it's a completely different thing.
Well, I mean, again, that's a way you could test it. I mean, the full game, like, I could...
Not bad shout, yeah.
We could do that.
Yeah, we'll look into this after the chat. But is there anything else you want to say, Nathan, before we wrap this up?
I would highly recommend Cyberpunk Edgerunners because it's different from what you see a lot of the times. It's very colorful, very bright. It also doesn't have any. I can't say. I wanted to say something then. I'm like, no, I can't. It's too much of a spoiler.
Okay, yeah.
Even though we kind of just mentioned it, but I don't want to say it again. But yeah, no, honestly, it was a great time. I really did like the characters, and I genuinely do whenever I hear even snippets of "I really want to stay at your house" by Rosa Walton. I do actually get hit in the feels a little bit, and I start to remember David and the crew. I really like this. I highly recommend it. And this, honestly, I didn't understand it before, but I followed exactly in everyone else's footsteps. You watch it, you want to play the game because you want to know more.
Yeah.
This is a really cool world that has a lot of interesting stories and just things about it. If you end up getting into it, you're going to start hunting for more.
Yeah.
Just gonna outright say that.
That's no. Honestly, I probably couldn't put it better myself, to be honest. Like Nathan's obviously tried testing effort there. I can only my only thing is like, yeah, if you haven't even tried the series before, the anime is still a great shout. So all I can do is recommend that from my point of view, and you've obviously been in the same situation as me. But yeah, that is our thoughts on Cyberpunk. Let us know in the comments what your thoughts are. If you watched the anime, if you played the games, if you like done both, let us know. Love to hear your thoughts on this. And what is it? What's the spiel, Nathan? What's the spiel? It's like, comment, subscribe, and hit that bell button for future Cultured Boys videos. We have the links in the description to all our podcast platforms, so go click those as well. And we see you next time for another Cultured Boys episode. Bye-bye.
Bye.